Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Time Career Chat. My name's Patricia Hayes. I'm so glad to be here with you all. Happy New Year. This is the first show in the new year because, last Monday was technically a holiday. So I'm so glad to be back with you all today. It's not going to be a long one because we have so much coming forward for you in the coming weeks and months ahead. So today, I just want to jump right in. Today's topic is New Year, Better You. And I'm really careful with that about not saying New Year with new resolutions or a new you because really and truly we're not a new person. We're always evolving to become better people, right? And I gave up resolutions a long time ago because, I'm a perfectionist. And so it's like if I didn't accomplish that thing that way in that time period, then I always felt like I was kind of failing, right? And so I had to shift and with some teachings from others over the years to really focus more on what are my goals and how can I evolve to reach them and how can I learn to adjust with them because sometimes things aren't met. We may have the best of plans, but they aren't meant to happen when we originally laid them out. It doesn't mean that they're not meant to happen. That's the piece, right? So when you remember that, then you can move forward knowing like, okay, well, you can be disappointed. You're human about it not being that time, but it doesn't mean never, right? Delay does not mean never. And so that's what I want to encourage you is as you're approaching this new year, that you're not just approaching it with like, oh, I have to start over from ground zero on working on X. That is what exhausts us. That's what gets us burnt out. And that's what really messes up our mindset. We'll be talking more about the new year and a new mindset next week. But this week, I just want to remind you that it's never too late to get clarity about your goals, about setting boundaries, and about what it is and who it is you want to be next. Okay, so that's my word of encouragement for you today with a few things, kind of a little bit of reversed in reverse order as we work through what does it mean for you to look at this new year in a way that's going to make a better you and improved you in your goals, in your career, in your business. And so here it is. First thing is we're going to talk about the 4 R's, right? Redefine, reflect, remember, and reset. The first one is to redefine your goals. And this is in terms of being very purposeful about what you're making your goals to be, about being intentional with them, and to remember to keep them true to you, not others. This is the internal versus external conflict that's always going on. And it's so hard. I understand, I know, to turn off the noise from the outside sometimes. But this is really important for you as you define your goals and what it is you want to achieve for yourself personally and professionally because you can't in some ways you can't do one without the other, right? You're a whole being. I like to say there are no flat Stanleys around here. We're multidimensional, and while we may lean one way or the other sometimes just because of what needs to be done to get the goals accomplished, it doesn't mean you're turning one part of yourself off in order to get the other one out. That's what's got most of us so burnt out over the years trying to do that. So don't hurt yourself trying to do that, okay? Redefine your goals, give some thought to it, be purposeful about what it is you're setting. And I won't say just realistic because that seems to minimize for some people, right? You want to add some stretch to it, but think about what is it that you really want to accomplish, and maybe you're thinking about how you've kind of been dampening it down, which gets us to our second R, which is reflection. You really need to engage in that reflection time on your prior year and your prior goals and how you want to move forward. Now, this is not about taking a look at yourself and beating yourself up about what you did or did not do, right? It's not about that. It's about extending yourself some grace, taking a fresh and honest look at what happened versus what did not. I know for me, like 2022 did not go off the way that I thought it would and that I had planned to. And it would be so easy to just beat myself up about that. But there were some extenuating circumstances that I just never anticipated and could not have anticipated being at the level that they were. So, what I had to do, extend myself some grace, acknowledge that, take a look back at what actually did happen that you were excited about achieving. And when you do that, there's always a handful of things that you're just like, wow, that really happened last year, right? That really happened. So use those things to feed yourself for the new goals or for the refreshed goals and build forward. And as far as, and that's not to say to ignore those things that were challenging or that weren't successful, but to take the time to reflect on what you can learn from that. Okay. Because there's always a lesson that can be learned. There's always a lesson. We don't always want the lesson, but there's always a lesson. So I encourage you to do that. Give yourself the time to engage thoroughly, thoughtfully, and give yourself permission to accept what happened and to move forward. This can be the most difficult thing, right? Giving ourselves permission to say, you know what, that didn't happen. It's okay. Where can we go from here? Giving yourself permission to say, that was not the outcome that I wanted or desired, right? What can I get from it and how can I move forward? Give yourself that permission. Give yourself grace. Oh my goodness, I've been using that word so much. It needs to be one of my new words for the year. But you really do have to give yourself some grace. And I speak from experience, right? Type A person right here, always has been. But if anything that I learned from 2022 is that it is so important to give yourself that grace to receive what has happened and how it can build you and grow you for the next level of you, because it's all for a reason, right? This is when you're working through things with purpose and not just haphazardly. And this is why I encourage people. Reflection is always a thing I want to encourage you. And I work with my clients on taking that time because it's so valuable. All right. Okay. That's the second R. The third R is to remember your why. And I have not talked about this in a minute, but the beginning of the year, just because of the calendar year, but it's something you can do year round. We always need to remember our why, to remember what it is we're doing, not just what, but the why of it. Because, we get caught up in, oh, I need to make more money, or I need a new job, or I really need this to be stabilized. Well, why? Why? Are you wanting to make money just for money's sake? Or are you wanting to make money for what it can bring to you? Let's say you want greater freedom. You want more control over your time if you're trying to, build a business. If you want to change jobs because you have shifting interests and dreams that you would like to accomplish, and maybe this is the time to do it. Go one level deeper, okay? Don't just stay on the surface. Go to your why. And when you go to your why, most of the time, your why has not changed, right? It could be for your family. It can be for, if you feel strongly about giving back to your community, if it's about leaving a legacy, whatever that may be. Okay. Remember your why. Sometimes you got to write it out on a sticky note, put it on a board, put it on your computer, whatever. And to remember that continuously, because you will hit those stumbling blocks. You will have those surprises. And when you get to that point and you're like, what am I doing this for? That's the answer, right? You have to go look at that thing and say, oh yeah, this is really my end goal. And even the best of us have to do it. We forget our whys and we get caught up in the moment and the stressors and the challenges and the unexpected. But just remember, we'll always have those things. I'm not going to get into it today, but one of the things that I always work with clients when we're doing the strategic career and professional plans is we make sure and put out a mission statement, your personalized mission statement. And I have mine that I've had for years, and it truly has not evolved much because the why behind it has not changed. Circumstances have changed, how I might accomplish it has changed, how I might approach it has changed. But bottom line, I still very much care about leaving a legacy, about providing learning opportunities to people in whatever way that I can, and leaving a legacy for my family, for my children to grow from and to be proud of. Okay. And so we could talk more about personalized mission statements another time. If you're interested, let me know. We could do a session on it. But the point is, it keeps you grounded and helps to keep you on track, even when craziness is going on all around you. All right. So that's the third one. The fourth one is reset. And it's really coming full circle. And that's why I said it's going to seem weird. I'm like, why did she start with redefining your goals? Because when you get to the reset, sometimes that means you're going to hit the reset button on things and you're going to, quote, redefine your goals, right? When you hit that reset, when you're like, okay, here's where I am right now today. This worked or did not work, and I need to press reset on it. It doesn't mean you're starting from scratch, right? Think about that. We can hit the reset button on our electronics or whatever, and it seems like, oh, well, it's starting over completely. Not really. Not unless you hit that return to what is it, manufacturer settings. Now that is starting all over. And that, think about this. I love this analogy. Because if you do the return to manufacturer settings, then you really are starting from the beginning. But when you hit that reset button, it's taking what you've had and it's like, okay, something's got a little quirky here. Let's press reset to get it rejuvenated, to get it unstuck, right? And so we can start from where we are and move forward. And that's really what we want to do. When you hit that reset, it is not to start over or to start from scratch. I want to make sure to emphasize that for you all, because so many times what keeps us from going to the next level is if we think that we are starting from scratch. And yeah, that feels heavy. That feels debilitating because it seems like you're leaving behind so much of yourself. That's because you would be if you're starting from scratch. Rarely are we actually starting from scratch, because unless you are going to completely ignore your previous experiences and all of those things that have truly become a part of who you are, you can't really start from scratch. You can start anew, right? You can start over to some degree, but those things are a part of you, no matter how much you want to try to get rid of them. So think about that from that perspective. The new year and a better you. How can you become better at who you are and what, so that you can achieve the goals that you want to be? How can you become a better person to feed those goals, to feed those achievements, to feed the things you really want to achieve in your life? Okay. And this is my touchy feely woo woo session, right? We do this every time, especially at the beginning of the year and probably about quarterly when we're doing a little check in, right? And I encourage you to go ahead and put that on your calendar right now, to put your quarterly check ins in place. So this is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, right? Put those quarterly check ins on your calendar right now so that you can remember to step back, engage in the reflection, remember your why, push reset as you go along the way, and just watch how powerful that can be for you in the coming year. All right. It's so exciting to be here with you. I'm looking forward to so many things this year as I myself have pressed the reset, redefining some things, and continuing reflection. This is an ongoing process for me because there's so many moving parts, and it's a matter of it coming together now. And so I encourage you to each of you to engage in that process. Remember your 4 R's, redefine your goals, reflect on your prior year and prior goals, remember your why, and don't be afraid to press the reset button. Okay. I'm looking forward to checking in with you. If you have any questions, if you have topics you'd like covered, hit me up in the DMs and the comments. I'd love to be able to help you and assist you as we work forward in, returning to the empowered you work as we approach our careers, as we approach our businesses, as we approach our relationships professionally. All right. Take care, everyone. And I look forward to talking with you again soon. Take care. Bye.